Oh, guys, here's some more hot takes that people don't want to hear. I never liked the Mega Man series. The Mega Man series, to me, is one of the most boring gaming franchises ever made. Mega Man is one of, and how dare you say that? Because Mega Man's one of the icons of gaming. That's why it got smashed so early. Well, I'm telling you, we used to have been Smash Bros. Before Mega Man. Again, sales does not matter, but Street Fighter basically created the fighting game series. Mega Man is basically a game that was created because of Mario. So, therefore, realistically, Street Fighter should have been in because Street Fighter inspired Smash Bros. To a certain extent. But today we're talking about why do I not like the Mega Man series. I don't hate every single Mega Man game out there. The Star Force series was pretty fun, and the Battle series on the Game Boy, I've never played those, but they're very similar to those series, are pretty fun. But most of the Mega Man games are pretty similar. You basically go fight a bunch of robots, you get the powers, and you use the power to beat more robots. They're not that good. It's just not that great. Also, the game's difficulty is very high for some weird reason. Most of the classic Mega Man series are very difficult and hard games for some weird reason. I never understood why they were that hard. I know most older games are not easy, but I played games like Mario Bros. And Sonic, and those games are enjoyable. They have their challenging, but the first levels are still pretty easy if you understand the basics of the game. But Mega Man, basically you have to choose between a bunch of levels to fight, and you have to do which level you have to do. Of course, a new player won't know what to do, but of course, you know, most of the 90s kids say these games are a masterpiece because they're hard. Really? Because they're difficult? So a game, I don't understand why gamers think a game being hard means it's good. There are lots of easy games and short games that are good. Minecraft is an example of a not hard game. Again, there's difficulty settings for Minecraft, but Minecraft is actually a pretty easy game if you get how to play it. You build it, you won't really have to encounter much enemies at all if you play the game and go to sleep and everything and make a house and everything. Even on hard difficulty, the only enemies you really see is in the cave. And if you keep all your valuable stuff in the chest in your area, you'll never lose it. Same thing if you go to the nether. Minecraft is an easy game, essentially. Way much easier than Mega Man. You're popped in a level, and because of the slippery controls, because of course they play it on the 3DS, I don't know how you play. I don't know how the NES controls out, the Super Nintendo controls out for these games, but the controls are not that great. The Virtual Console versions of the Mega Man games don't have good controls, and it's just not as great as other games like Mario and Sonic. Mario and Sonic have way better controls than Mega Man. And also, you start with this very weak attack at the beginning. Basically, you just shoot really tiny pebbles at everybody else. Basically. And yeah, it isn't that fun, it isn't that great, it isn't that interesting. I never really liked this series at all. And it also really started because this guy at my school was obsessed with Mega Man. He said how Mega Man was the greatest series of all time. And then we had YouTubers talk about how great and how innovative Mega Man was. So I said, you know what? I'll give this Mega Man series a chance. If Mega Man was really that great, I gave it a chance. At least I played it. Gave it a chance. I bought a few of the games, Mega Man X, Mega Man ZX, and Mega Man 6, and Mega Man the Game Boy version. And yeah, they're mostly the same games. The only one that and there's also Mega Man Battle Network. I hate that game. The one for the GameCube. But nobody wants to remember that. Nobody wants to remember that game exists. But Mega Man's difficulty is artificial. Bad controls make a game hard, basically for no reason. Mega Man's controls basically make the game harder for no reason. If Mega Man didn't have that bad controls, you know, maybe the games would be enjoyable. But even then, Mega Man games are mostly the same. Mega Man's 1 through 11 basically have you defeating Dr. Wily over and over again to save the world. Again, Mario doesn't really have that complex of a story, but Mega Man games in the 90s were pumped out practically every year. Mario game for the span of the first 5 Mario games, including the Lost Levels and Mario World, there were 7. There were 6. No, there were 7 Mega Man games, and the X series was already starting. So, yep, there were already 7 of these games. 7 Mega Man games. Okay, compared to the 5 Mario games. And that's including Mario Bros. 2, which is a reskin of Doki Doki Panic. So if you exclude that game, there were only 4 Mario games within the time. That's including the Lost Levels as well. But the Mario games had way more powers to the games as well. Mario has way better controls and everything compared to Mega Man. If you're new to platformers, I wouldn't recommend Mega Man at all. Mega Man's probably one of the worst games that introduce platformers to people. I know the 90s kids will like to disagree, but I think Mario is your best choice to introduce platformers to anybody. Mario is simple, Mario is easy to understand, and of course, the controls of Mario games are always pretty perfection because of Nintendo and their greatness. But yeah, unless you want to recommend, but don't recommend Mario the Lost Levels. Yeah, I would recommend one of the Mario games instead of Mega Man. So, yep. And there was a reason why, and yep, Mega Man hasn't had a game since 2018, Mega Man 11. The Mega Man series has always had poor sales. Despite the Mega Man fans saying how great Mega Man is, you would think the series would also sell way better. But Mega Man 2 only sold 1.2 million copies, despite being considered a classic game by most YouTubers. Again, Chrono Trigger didn't sell that well in the West, but all of these 90s kids, somehow played it, even though the game only sold like 300,000 copies in the US. But you're telling me that you went to Japan to get this game? I highly doubt you did. And yeah, Mega Man series is not that great. Again, if I grew up in the 90s, I would probably say something differently. It's really the era you grew up with, what you like, essentially. I did not grow up with Mega Man, okay? When I was around, Mega Man was not big anymore. Mega Man was a dying franchise. Mega Man is a franchise that I will never understand. And yep, there we go. That's basically it about Mega Man. Goodbye.